Now, Chris, as much as I like to hear your dulcet tones talking about wine every time I see you, I think we should shift over to the star of the show here, Gynore.
Yes.
Now, you are Swartland born and bred, I believe.
Hmm.
You've worked at a few wineries and then did a vintage in Burgundy, and then came back
Uh-huh.
to work at Mullineux. Tell us a little bit about your evolution as a winemaker when you've worked with Chris and Andrea in the past, and what it is exactly that you're doing today with the Great Heart Project.
Yeah, so I met Chris and Andrea through the Cape Winemakers Guild Prodigy program, which is a 3-year internship where you get to work with some of the best winemakers in South Africa,
Right.
where they are basically your mentors for a year, and then you move on to the next winery. So I worked in Stellenbosch, in Durbanville, and then I came to the Swartland. But during the time that I was in Durbanville, I went to Burgundy to do harvest there. So that's basically my my kind of background. As you said, born and bred in the Swartland. So Swartland's obviously close to my heart, and yeah, I kind of just fit in.
I'm just going to interject there. Just one thing. Gynore is quite modest. There's only two Swartland-born winemakers, or there's three now, in the Swartland. One of them is Ibn Sadi, who a few people know. The other is David Sadi, who a lot of other people know. And then the third is Gynore. So everybody else, Adi Badenhorst, Kalilo, Andrea, myself, we're all like
imports,
implants, foreigners, and Gynore is one of the trifecta of OGs from the Swartland. Yeah, born and.
That's very cool. That's very cool.
Yeah, it feels cool. Yeah, so I've been working for the Mullineux since December 2019. Obviously, I started as an intern before that for a year, and then yeah, they liked me and offered me a permanent position at the Swartland winery, at the Mullineux winery. And then in 2020, we started the Great Heart Project. So Great Heart Wines is a completely separate company to Mullineux and Leeu family wines. But all the employees of Mullineux and Leeu are shareholders of this company. So yeah, so all the employees
very cool.
get a dividend from the Great Heart Project. And some of the employees also serve as directors with Andrea and Chris on the board of Great Heart Wines. So it's educational, and I would say it gives people more sense of ownership and leadership, especially the guys in the vineyard, the guys in the winery that doesn't have that background in, let's say, sales or being able to lead people. And it's really made a difference as to how people see their work, owning up to it. It's their wine.
No, that makes sense.
So that's what Great Heart is. And our core wines are 2 wines from the Swartland, and then we do 2 wines from Stellenbosch, with a few other additions from this year. But we do a Chenin Blanc and then a red blend from the Swartland, and then a Chardonnay and a Cabernet Sauvignon from Stellenbosch.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I see. I see a list here for a Swartland red blend, which is coming to Canada in December of this year. What's in there?
Yeah, so it's predominantly Syrah and Tinta Baraka, with a bit of Cabernet Sauvignon.
Very nice, very nice.
Yeah.
And what would you say, apart from the structure of the staffing and the like at the winery, what would you say the overall philosophy was of Great Heart when it comes to winemaking?
Yeah, so as with all our wines, with the Mullineux wines and the Leeu Passant wines, minimal intervention in the winery, and really just putting our stamp on the wine. So I'm the winemaker, but of course, the other people in the winery also get to say, maybe we should try this, maybe we should do that. So it's giving people a sense of ownership in the winery as well, if that makes sense.
Oh, it makes complete sense to me. Now, I always like to ask kind of personal questions when it comes to winemakers' evolution as a winemaker. What have you learned since you came on board at Mullineux in 2019? How would you say your winemaking attitude has changed throughout that period? I'm kind of asking what you've learned from that guy next to you and his wife.
Maybe I should step out for a minute, right?
No.
I have to say I've learned a lot over the past few years that I've been here. I've always been an introvert. Yeah, wasn't one of my strongest points to speak to people and go out and do marketing and all of that stuff. And I've really grown as an individual within Mullineux, I have to say, in the winery, taking leadership, leading people, and then also doing sales, doing marketing myself. So I feel that I've grown as an individual and as a professional.
Well, I have to say, you come over as quite the natural when he forces you to speak to annoying media like me. No, you're absolutely fantastic. You speak very, very well about the winery. So you're kind of like a protege of Andrea and Chris, which can only be a good thing.
Yeah, so, Mullineux.
What is exciting you most about what you're doing at Great Heart right now?
So the fact that we can experiment a bit with other varietals has been amazing, because obviously we make set varietals for Mullineux and Leeu Passant. But for instance, last year I made a Pinot Noir from Algan, which is totally out of our regions that we work with. That was pretty cool. And then this year I made Pinot Noir from another area, which I'm keeping a secret for now.
Okay.
But just the chance to experiment and do my own thing, and still obviously under the mentorship of Chris and Andrea, but being able to be free in a way. Yeah.
The Pinot this year, I haven't even tasted it yet, so it's still a secret to me. I look forward to getting to taste it. So Gynore has, I think great. She has a creative outlet to if she wanted to make a Riesling or whatever, we would help her to go out and find the fruit. So it really gives her that creative space to do things. Unfortunately, in a company like a family run winery like ours, the growth prospects, you reach a ceiling. Andrea's not going anywhere soon as the head winemaker. So Gynore is an amazing assistant, but we wanted to give her the space to be a winemaker in charge of something. So Great Heart really allows that, and it's the same then for the sales team and the guys working in the vineyards. They have this sense of ownership, which it's great in addition to the extra income that they're getting.
So whenever there's a mentor-mentee relationship, it's always a two-way street. So I'd like to ask you, Chris, what you have learned from Gynore.
I've learned Gynore she's quite modest. She does say that she's an introvert. She's quiet sometimes, but I don't think she's an introvert, because she's also very, I don't want to say forceful, but when she says something, it means something. When she asks the team to do something or gives them instruction, it's always very well thought out and very clear, and people know it's something to be taken seriously. And so I think I don't say not to judge a book by its cover, but just because someone's quiet doesn't mean they're there's nothing going on.
Right.
There's a lot going on inside Gynore, and I think that I really respect that reservedness. That there's something deep always going on down there inside.
Excellent. Thank you so much for speaking with us at Good Food Revolution today. I look forward to welcoming you both to Ontario the next time. I know, Chris, you've been a few times, but hopefully in the future, Gynore, we will have a chance to have a glass of wine together at some point. Hopefully, one of those Pinots that you've been talking about. It's the afternoon for you. I see you have a glass of wine there. I have a cup of tea because it's early in the morning for us. So it's yeah, you lucky devils. My wife gives me hell if I hit the wine at this time of the morning. But thank you so much for your time today. Really appreciate it. And hopefully we'll get a chance to have some wine together soon.
Cool. And I'm just going to do a shameless plug because people have to recognize the wine in the shop. So the great art, this is the label. So it's the one with the beautiful artwork. Great Heart Wines.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's I think coming to the LCBO, as you said, later this year. So in sort of October, the Chenin arrives, and then later the red blend as well. So yeah, please look out for them in the store.
I think the Great Heart Cab, I think, is September in classics. Okay. And then we have the Great Heart Shortland Red in December of this year. Yeah, and then the Chenin comes in February.
February, okay, awesome.
So cool. I will look forward
to we look out for them when you see them. Huh? They're awesome.
Superb. Again, thank you very much, and I look forward to tasting your wines when they do arrive here. Always a pleasure to see you, Chris. Give my love to your wife, and Gynore, a pleasure to meet you. Hopefully, it won't be the last time.
Well, thanks, Jamie.
Bye for now. Take care.
Bye.